What's good, y'all? It's your boy Lil Kenny. We back with another video, and today you already know what it is. October 12th, one of the biggest schedules in college football, man, this year. Hey, there was a lot of big games last week, subtly, but this week there are definitive games on the line. So let's just start it off. We got South Carolina versus Alabama. Alabama coming off a tough loss. South Carolina not playing the worst SEC ball. They're playing a lot better than they were last year, bouncing off a Rattler year. They could be pretty good today. Then we got Clemson versus Wake Forest. Another game. Clemson is averaging still about 55 points a game. A lot of people are thinking it should just be an easy game for Clemson, but Wake Forest always likes to play Clemson a little bit close, so we'll see what happens. Missouri versus Massachusetts. Moving on. We got Texas versus Oklahoma. The Red River rivalry. The Red River rivalry. I can't even say it, guys. The Red River shootout. I don't even know. Look, Quinn Ewers last year, just awful. Probably the worst game he's ever played, guys. I'm not even going to bring up the stats, but he played terrible. He's coming off an injury. He's got the nod to start, but a lot of people are wondering, I'm wondering myself, if he plays bad enough this year, we can just insert Arch Manning. Brent Venables does not, we're at home, Oklahoma, they're not playing the best. They've already taken one loss. They're 1-1 in the SEC. You know what I mean? But you can never really count these guys out, guys. I'm not joking. And I'm trying to think, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on what their quarterback's name used to be, but they got Pete Thorne this year, y'all. Peyton? Yeah. They got Peyton Thorne. No. Wrong team. My bad, y'all. Let me look. Who do they got this year? Michael Hawkins Jr. Let's look at the stats. He's not that bad. I swear they used to have somebody else out here. They used to have Dylan Gabriel and Jackson Arnold. Okay. He got benched. That's what it was. I knew I was tripping. I knew I wasn't tripping. Brent he already had to bench Jackson Arnold for this, y'all. And I'm not lying. A lot of times I'd be sitting there when a coach has to bench their quarterback middle of the season, you put a new guy in. A lot of times, it might not go well, but Oklahoma's already seen this before when they had to get rid of Rattler and throw in Caleb Williams. So obviously that was Lincoln Riley, but Venables wasn't short behind that. So for him to throw the new guy in against Texas, I mean, Jackson Arnold has an arm, but the kid was struggling. I mean, he kind of was going through just a Bo Nix thing where he's just throwing a little too many picks, not making the right decision. Man, that's a 3:30 game, by the way, y'all. 3:30 Red River rivalry. That's exactly what ESPN says. I don't know if it used to be the shootout or what. I would take the over in that game. It's 49.5. Texas is minus 15. No, just put Oklahoma to cover the spread. It's one of the biggest games of the year. Oklahoma isn't going out like that's the 2 touchdowns and one. Come on, man. All right, let me move on, man. I'm starting to run out of breath. Another 3:30 game. You gotta be watching. Personally, not as big as a game as it probably was supposed to be. Penn State versus USC. Miller Moss. Ugh. Hate that guy, man. USC's quarterback Lincoln Riley coming off a tough loss needs to bounce back against Penn State, but Penn State 5-0. James Franklin, Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton. Don't forget Drew Alla. I mean, they literally are just. I mean, they're in their mode. This is one of the years where they're still doing good, but they're falling off from respect though. They played tough ass games. They almost lost to BG. They almost lost another tough game. Who was it to? I mean, they kind of played UCLA close. I mean, they did blow out Kent State 56-0. They beat Illinois. But even after beating UCLA, they got it going towards the end. It's just one of those things where I look at Penn State this year and I still don't think they're as strong of a team as everybody says. So That's why it still is a big game. They're going to play USC probably closer than they need to. Hopefully, they go out there and just run over a team who can't play defense. But that's neither here nor there. Moving forward, Stanford, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, one loss. They've been bouncing back. They're the 11th best team in the country. We'll see what they do today. Stanford, for some reason, I feel like could take them. Notre Dame's actually a 22.5-point spread. Yeah, right. 44.5 on the over. Yeah, right. Look for that. Take the under. I would take the under and take Stanford to cover the spread in that. California and Pitt, y'all. Pitt 5-0, turning up 22nd best team in the country, y'all. But this California team isn't bad. They played DJU close. Is that saying something? But then when you go back the next week and you play Cam Ward close, and if it wasn't for the refs, it probably would have been a dub that leaned over in your favor, 39-38. This Cal team is warming up, and if the Pitt Panthers think that Berkeley's just gonna come in there, take the whole plane ride, and not play great, not play to win, it's an ACC matchup. They're 0-2. They'd like to shake some shit up. So, hey, man, Purdue, Illinois, 23rd best team in the country. They're 4-1, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Hey, snap your fingers, get done with. If you really mean business, snap your fingers, get done with Purdue, and get it going. 4 o'clock, y'all. BYU, Arizona, Big 12 matchup. You need to tune in. Fafita, still goated, y'all. He's throwing I know he's throwing 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the season, but hey, some of that's on coach. Some of that is on coach, man. But Arizona going against 2-0 being BYU in the Big 12. If they can get this dub, it will shake some things up. BYU looking like the favorite in that conference, especially if they get the win here today at home. Next, Mississippi State and Georgia, excuse me. Georgia, don't go out here and play these guys close. Blow them out. You're a 34-point favorite. Beat them by 50. Nothing more to say. Next, Florida, Tennessee. Now we're starting to get into the big games again, y'all. Florida and Tennessee. The Gators are coming out to volunteer country. Now look, honestly, Amaleava, once again, Tennessee coming off a tough loss to the Razorbacks. SEC ball. But I don't think Florida's that good. I think Tennessee, they wake up, they bounce back. They got Dylan Sampson, great running back. It's a too high powered of an offense to lose 2 games in a row. Enough said. Next, I literally heard this at work. I wasn't going to say it, but hey, 7:30, Ohio State versus Oregon. The Bucks are going duck hunting, baby. And tonight is the night. We just had both these teams follow up a week's playing Michigan State. The Buckeyes just played Iowa. Hey, a lot of people say the Buckeyes proved themselves last weekend, right? Against a good defense. Went out there, put up a decent amount of points, did what they needed to do, but it was 35-7. It's not even a but. Barely giving up any touchdowns this year, y'all. It's crazy. Not really, but a lot of people say it's crazy. Then you got Oregon on the flip side. That team out west, quote unquote. Dan Lanning, Tess Johnson, Dylan Gabriel. And the thing about it is a lot of people will say they played a better game against Michigan State than we did, but that doesn't even make sense. Because they didn't. They really didn't. Jeremiah Smith is one-handed catches in back-to-back weeks on whoever wants it. Bucks by 3, 54.5 on the over. You do the math, man. Moving on. Ole Miss, LSU, number 9 versus number 13, y'all. What are you cooking up? What are you doing? 5-1 Ole Miss Lane. Hello. It's time to wake up, buddy. If this were any time for it to actually be the fucking year, it would be now. Every single time one of the big sharks takes out one of the big sharks, you just fold under pressure in a game like this. LSU's 1-0, you're 1-1 in the SEC. Tonight is the fucking night. If you don't, you're just going to be the same guy you've always been. Brian Kelly will go lose another game later in the season, and the SEC stays exactly the same. Jackson Dart, you have the chance to change that. You're going in. You're going to LSU. I'm trying to remember what they're called. Are they Death Valley? No. Doesn't matter. They are. My sources just confirmed they are. My bad, y'all. Look. They are Death Valley. Ole Miss is going into Death Valley tonight. The real Death Valley, some might say. Some might say. All right? With all the implications on the line, Jackson Dart is probably, not even probably, 21 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions on the fucking season. The kid is he's going nuts. He's not going nuclear. But he's doing what the fuck he needs to do in this offense. And like I said, if Lane can just keep him relaxed against, some might say, a terrible LSU team. Brockmeyer, their fucking quarterback, Nussmeier, excuse me. Brockmeyer is a different quarterback. Nussmeier, keeping him in every game possible. I mean, that kid is resilient. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I'd send him to New York. Brian Kelly can coach a Heisman candidate. You know, I'm not giving him the Heisman, no whatsoever, but I'm just saying it. I mean, hey, Brian Kelly can put his quarterbacks in position to look great, but I just don't understand how that doesn't translate to getting wins sometimes, or at least undefeated seasons, not losing the big games. But Ole Miss is a favorite against these guys, and that's what I'm saying. 4-point favorite, 3.5. 62.5 is the over. Guys, this game is going to hit 100 on the over. I'm not joking. Especially if they go out here and play like, if Ole Miss plays as bummy as defense as I probably think they are, just because they're going to let LSU stay in it, like, I could easily see both these teams putting up 50, 54 to 50, 55 to 56, like on some stupid shit. Like, 100 on the over, y'all. Just book it. Anyways, Iowa State, that is a ranked game versus West Virginia. Don't sleep on the Mountaineers, all right? But that is a 5-0 Iowa State team. They're in the Big 12. Both 2-0 in the Big 12. This is Big 12 implications right here. Just because West Virginia is 3-2, you win the conference game. You go to the conference, you win all your conference games, you go to the conference championship. So Iowa State better watch the fuck out. Now, Colorado versus Kansas State. The Hood, 10-15, late game. They play the most cheekiest night games ever. Expect them to be sluggish in the first half. Expect Shador to probably come out in that second half and turn the fuck up. But don't expect it to just be one-sided KSU all night. What's his name? Avery Johnson or something like that? Let me look. Yeah. Avery Johnson. He's filling in for none other than Will Howard. The man, the myth, the legend himself, right? Big shoes to fill, right? Honestly, guys, this is a true test for both teams. They both taken losses. Luckily, Colorado finds themselves 2-0 in the Big 12. This race for the Big 12 is actually crazy. It's crazy, y'all. And especially in a year where the SEC is doing what it's doing right now and the Big 10 is doing what it's doing right now, and the Big 12 is trying to compete. They're trying to have these big games, and they got 2 of them tonight. if Colorado were to lose, I don't want to keep talking your heads off, but if Colorado were to lose, I wouldn't be surprised. Nobody would be. They're not even favored to win the game, right? I think a lot of people would be more surprised if they did win. Kansas State, I'll be surprised if they play bad. All right. And I mean that is in Avery Johnson's throwing an early pick, maybe 2 early picks. And then we're sitting there all of a sudden, and the score, instead of it being like 30 to maybe 14, and Colorado's trying to come back, we're sitting there and it's 28-28, and we're wondering, okay, are we going in overtime? How many overtimes are we going into? Is Travis Hunter going to flip this game over again? Is Shador going to have to throw a Hail Mary to bail him out? I mean, the kid, hey, he's 1,600 yards, 3 interceptions. He's not having a bad year. He's going to the league. I'll never be one to doubt that. But I'm not rooting for these motherfuckers. Boise State, Hawaii. A lot of people are saying Boise State is the best group of 5, automatically getting into that playoff. Ashton Jenny, 95. Alex thinks it's GT. If you make it to this video, you're a fool. If you make it to this point in the video, Alex, I want you to know you are foolish. It's not GT. It is spelled that way, but it's Genty. 95 carries, 1,031 yards, 16 touchdowns. I mean, the guy is projected to go for at least 150 on the ground every single game. He's bound to score at least once. Oh, he's on record of telling the O-line that if he doesn't get 2,000 yards this year, he has to cut his dress. Hey, he's got some thick locks. I'm definitely running for 2 bands if I got to. He's going against Hawaii. They're going to Hawaii. You know what I mean? So hopefully, I'll put it like this. Hopefully he doesn't get out there to Hawaii. I don't know what y'all be doing before these games, bro, when y'all be traveling. Like, I would assume y'all been out. It's like coming from Boise, wherever Boise's at, to Hawaii. So y'all probably been there all week. Just hopefully he's poised and ready to go, because he should have a great day. And last night, I think this is the last game I'm going to cover, man. I got through all the top 25 games. There's a bunch more. I might get to 2 more because Wisconsin and Rutgers isn't even on here. Big game. All right? Shianu. Like, I want to call him little brother, but he's like that little fat cousin you got just out there. He's like the one that's like always trying to be stuck up for some reason. He's got a big game today. A lot of people say them Badgers is ready, but I don't think they are. Last night, Arizona State topped over Utah. A lot of people weren't expecting that. A lot of people would have had Utah up. But now Arizona State sitting at 5-1, 2-1 in the Big 12, while Utah 4-2, 1-2 in the Big 12. The Big 12 is going crazy, y'all. Let me make sure I'm going to scroll through all these games, make sure I didn't miss anything too crazy. But like I said, Wisconsin, Rutgers, we got Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Washington, Iowa, another Big 10 game. Like, they're just unranked, so like they didn't pop up. First, I had to switch the category. Hey, Huskies. I mean, you just beat Michigan. Don't fuck around and lose to Iowa. All right. Ball State, Kent State, Toledo, Buffalo. What else we got, man? Before I get y'all out of here, Cincinnati, UCF. Cincinnati is not favored, but y'all should take them if you were gonna bet. We got Akron, Western Michigan, Bowling Green, Northern Illinois. Nah, not seeing nothing else, man. Nothing else too crazy. Vandy, Kentucky. The battle of the SEC. Can Pavia do it again? We got Kyle McCord versus NC State tonight. And yeah, that's about it, y'all. That is about it, man. That's going to wrap up the show. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Hopefully, y'all get to see this video before you lock in today at 12 noon, whatever. We got games all day. Big day. October 12th, hopefully you're not working. For those of you that are warrior, stay strong. My brother, I'm working myself. And hey, if you're not working, cancel any other plan you got. Sit on the couch. Don't go to the bar. You don't want to be around too many people. You want to be alone watching these games because it's going to get reckless. It's going to get nuts. Hey, 20 minutes of your time, man. I appreciate y'all. It's Little Kenny. Peace.